We're going to talk about this sentence. She wore a silhouette of clothes that were extraordinary but somewhat gauche. First of all, y'all are mad at these kids, y'all are mad at these parents, y'all are mad at these teachers, and who you need to be mad at is whoever fucking filmed this. This is your reminder that children cannot consent to being on the internet because they are fucking children and they do not fully understand the implications of what happens when you film them in a bad light and put them on the internet. Because once it's there for forever. These are children who may or may not want to go to college. And now there's a video out there of them struggling to read a sentence that is poorly fucking written and doesn't make a lick of fucking sense. Let's go through it, shall we? This is the definition of a silhouette. Okay? A likeness cut out from dark material and mounted on a light ground, or one sketched into an outline, okay? Or the outline of a body viewed as circumscribing a mass. Okay? So, can clothing have a silhouette? Yes. That gown's silhouette is peak. Love it. Okay? It's a noun. You can describe the noun. The noun is a part of the clothing. Okay? But what this means is the adult doesn't know what silhouette actually means or how to use it appropriately. Because in order for the beginning of this sentence to actually work, you would have to say the silhouette of the clothes she wore. That's what makes sense. That's what makes sense. It would be even better if it said the silhouette of the clothing she wore. Would make more sense. Secondly, grammar-wise, were not appropriate verb. Not an appropriate verb. 2 reasons why. We're not describing the clothes. We are talking about the silhouette. The silhouette was. It would be were if we were unsure about the past, but we're not unsure. We're describing something that is factual. So, once again, the correct way of writing this sentence, in my opinion, because I am not an English teacher, would be the silhouette of the clothing she wore was extraordinary but somewhat gauche. That's how you would write that. But I also wouldn't use the word gauche. I would use the word gaudy. Because here's the definition of gauche. Lacking social experience or grace, or crudely made or done. That doesn't exactly work when you're describing clothing. It's usually when you're describing the behavior of a person, or like maybe how something is made, but not in appearance. And since we were talking about the silhouette is gauche, doesn't make sense. I mean, you could say crudely made, but like that counteracts the extraordinary part of it, right? You can't say something is extraordinary and something is gauche at the same time. Because it can't be great and also poorly made. But what it can be is gaudy. Ostentatiously or tastelessly ornamented. Marked by extravagance or sometimes tasteless showiness. The person who wrote the fucking sentence isn't smart. They're not smart on 2 occasions. One, they filmed children in a poor light and put it on the internet. Secondly, They wrote this fucking sentence this way to begin with. They misused silhouette, they used the wrong verb, and they misused gauche. So when that first child is like, who's this sentence for? She's right. Because it don't make no fucking sense. So here's the thing. Once you get to be in high school, you should have fluidity when it comes to being able to say the words that are on the page. That doesn't mean that you don't understand the words that are on the page. It just means you can't say them out loud. And that means that you haven't practiced saying them out loud. There are a lot of words that we've learned just by reading them, and we only hear them in our head. For the longest time, I said gauche as gouche. In my head, that's how I would say it. I read 300 books, more than 300 books in 2023, because I was bored. I have a clinical doctorate. I have multiple degrees. I still mispronounce this word. A lot of y'all are out here being mad at these parents for not teaching these kids. Well, also, okay, No Child Left Behind. The oldest person that would be affected by that is 39 years old. And everyone after them. Okay? Those people have kids now. Third, the economy is shit. Do you really think parents who are struggling financially have the time to go over homework or read to their children every night in bed? Do you think that's actually happening? One, they may or may not be able to read. And two, they ain't got the time. Okay? So y'all are out here saying these parents should know and these parents should be on top of it. How are they supposed to know? If you're white and you're thinking these things, stop being racist. I said what I said. Argue with your mama. And two, if you're black and you're saying these things, y'all need to check yourselves. Because if y'all were raised in those types of environments and you were able to have an education and have your parents help you, you are the exception, not the rule. So knock it off. Do better for our community. Okay? Third thing, these schools, especially the schools that don't get a lot of funding, they have to focus mostly on state testing in order to get that funding, because most schools get their funding based off of property taxes. And if you live in a poor area, then you ain't getting a lot of funding. Okay? And the last thing that I need y'all to understand, when you are in high school, what you're supposed to be working on is your critical thinking skills and your media literacy. That's what English is all about. Okay? These teachers aren't allowed to teach full books because they have to focus on state testing. Also, the materials that are approved are boring as fuck. Ain't nobody want to read Beowulf or even The Great Gatsby. There are books that are young adult books. They're awesome books that are out there now that these teachers aren't allowed to use. Okay. Teaching the Hunger Games, that would be fucking phenomenal. Okay, the kids would love that shit. They would eat that up. But they're bored. They're bored. And by the time they get to high school, they're already screwed because No Child Left Behind means everybody's being pushed through. So by the time they get to high school, the whole entire system has failed them. And let me emphasize this last part. The good teachers, the ones that actually fucking care, are being pushed out by administration that is just so fucking stupid, I can't even wrap my brain around it. Right? Because if they were smart, they wouldn't be hiring people who write sentences like this to teach these children.